Welcome to Kabbalah Conversations. We're so happy you dropped in to join us today. Kabbalah Conversations is where students of the Kabbalah Center get together to have weekly conversations about how the energy of the week impacts us, how we navigate through its challenges, and face the opportunities that the universe brings to us during the week, using the tools and ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, which ultimately helps us to get to our soul's purpose and true fulfillment. Since you found our channel, we hope that something that you hear today inspires you and motivates you or helps you make your week a lot better because of it. My name's Esther, and I'm a student of the Kabbalah Center for a bunch of years. Through the study, I've changed in so many ways and been able to receive more blessings than I could ever imagine. I know that I'm a better wife, mom, and human being because of it. So welcome to Kabbalah Conversations, and welcome to my fellow Kabbalah students.
Yay.
Thank you.
And welcome to Jennifer.
Welcome to
Hi,
Jennifer.
thank you for inviting me to join you.
Oh, we're so happy you're here.
Jennifer, one thing I always like to ask is, how do you find Kabbalah?
I had already kind of been on a spiritual journey. I grew up with my parents sent me to a Catholic school for 12 years, but neither of them are Catholic. It was just for a private school education. I was always around religion. My mom's actually Buddhist. My grandma, very Christian. So I really always loved, like, even in movies, like I love Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Like I loved like the stories, and I just thought, seeing it depicted, like, that was real. Like that, to me, that's like just the most fantastic thing. And I just always love like just really ancient things, and always trying to connect to, our roots and the beginnings of things. I'm very like kind of old fashioned. I like old things over new things. And then I remember distinctly in my 20s kind of questioning everything, like, I don't know if I really believe that. And then I did sprain my knee. And then so I was like bedridden for a month. And that's when I kind of really started going on this spiritual journey.
This is how long ago?
That was 2014, so 10 years
Oh, wow.
ago. And then I was like, I really want to study like all the different world's religions, because I had read one book and it felt so good. I loved it so much. I was in my early 30s. And then I wanted to study and then I was during the pandemic, I think I decided that, no, before the pandemic, I decided that I really wanted to study the Bible more. And all the different spiritual texts. And nobody knows the Bible better than the Hebrews. um, and I honestly did hear of Kabbalah because of the celebrities. And so I did decide to look into it. But, celebrities, they have the access to all the best things, the best like fitness trainers, and the best spiritual trainers. And so I looked at one class, probably Kabbalah 1, and it just made so much sense to me, resonated so much. The teacher would say something and I would answer it in my head, and then the teacher would say it. And I just felt like we were like-minded people. And then, you start trying the stuff that they say, and it really works. And then you see changes in your life, and then you're like, well, what does Kabbalah say about parenting? Or what does Kabbalah say about this? And it just really resonated with me. It's just kind of like when you see it, you know it kind of thing. And then I decided to just really focus on Kabbalah, kind of like a one thing at a time. And I just really love it. And I do try to share it. And then a lot of people, I heard that they come to Kabbalah because they were in a bad relationship. And for me, it was kind of coinciding with the time I became a mother, and that totally changed my life. And I was kind of in an unsupportive relationship, and I ended up becoming a single mother. And, that's when I really started to really lean on my spirituality, and Kabbalah helped me so much with that. So that's kind of how it started.
That's beautiful.
Amazing. By the way, the Kabbalah one that you took, it was one online on Zoom.
Yeah, at the time it was Power of Kabbalah with Eitan
Ah,
online.
beautiful.
And I was just like, whoa, like he was such a powerful speaker, with his like, he'd be like talking softly and then he'd like crescendo. And it's like, it was just like, and then it was just so like talking about all the challenges. And I was like, that's totally me and what I'm experiencing. So it was like hitting the nail on the head.
Amazing. Just to point out, if whoever is listening, that Kabbalah one is available on Kabbalah.com, and there's also a Kabbalah one that you can take at any time and pay what you want, called Kabbalah1.com, right?
Yeah, the letters ONE.
Also great. So,
and it's in our highlights, the link to it.
amazing.
So for today, what did we want to talk about the Zohar, the power of the Zohar?
Yeah.
Or do we
Yeah,
want
let's
to
do
talk
it.
about what challenges we've had this week or something we learned?
So
I say let's go
yeah,
to,
Christine, go
let's
ahead.
go to the Zohar. I'm excited about it. What do you think, Yehuda? Do you want to tell us what it is?
I was just telling you before we started, I had a feeling this has to be a great session, because it was from all the times that we had a session, this is the one that we were like, both Esther and me were like, do we really want to do it today? And it's like even like we have somebody cleaning the house and everybody's coming at the same time, and the cleaning person was supposed to be here now while we're having the session, so they came in before. Should I be on the phone? And it's just everything is happening at once, and it's an indication to me that that it has to be great, because when everything is working perfectly, and let's say I want to share, because I've learned in Kabbalah 1 that sharing is a way for me to bring light into my life, right? So I'm like, okay, let me share, but let me share at my own, when it's comfortable for me. So that's one level. But when I share when it's totally uncomfortable for me, that's, you get 10x the amount of light. And the more it's uncomfortable to share, the more you're connected with your soul, because the body has already, maybe the body is telling us, okay, go ahead and share, but be in your, don't go crazy.
Scheduled sharing.
Yeah, scheduled, it works out, I don't have anything, competing, it falls into place, I'm not going crazy. But the soul says go crazy. It's like when it's uncomfortable, then you're now operating with your soul. When it's comfortable and calculated, you're working more than likely with your body. So today, hopefully, we're working with our soul. It was a little bit more uncomfortable to come here, so we're working with our soul. And I want to say one more thing. I listened this morning to Michael Berg, TLE. It's more advanced. And he was explaining that this will be a little advanced, but hopefully, just connect. If we're not understanding the terms, just connect to the light that is flowing from this teaching. So he says there were rules that were created in this creation at a certain point that said, we told the creator, you know what, I don't want you to give me everything just like that. I want to be a participant. I want to earn what you want to give me. So stop giving me for free, and now only give me the light when I earn it, when I do restriction. And but that light is called light of Chokhmah. He says the nice thing is there is another light that is still available for us for free. Like, meaning it doesn't matter, have I earned it? Am I a good person? Am I doing this? And wherever I am, whatever my name is, wherever I come from, whatever I just did a minute ago, I can now receive unlimited of a certain light. It's a little different light. It's called light of Chasadim. Light of Chasadim, that is available without any limitation to us at any time. And so he says that sometimes when we're blocked, when we ask, I really want the success to come, I want the relationship, I want the love, the happiness, the fulfillment, that is called light of Chokhmah. Sometimes it's blocked. And he says, when that is blocked, just leave it for a second and turn to the other light. The light of Chasadim is the light that comes from our actions of sharing, when we are leaving everything aside and doing something for somebody else. When we do that, we now tap into light of Chasadim, and that light is unlimited and is in abundance wherever we are, whenever. So that was his, something that he touched about, that when things seem to be blocked from that system, go to the other system that is unlimited. You're doing it by sharing, you're doing it by going outside of your comfort zone. And now you are receiving light without any limitation. And more than that, that action of sharing that is, let's say uncomfortable, that is also creating the vessel for the other light to start to come in. So you enjoy both. You immediately get in light, and you should feel it when you go out and share. You should you right away feel something good. But more than that, you're creating now the right system, the right energy to attract the other light that was blocked. So I thought that was very powerful and worth sharing.
Yeah, to access the blocked blessings. Yeah, it's very powerful.
I notice that so much with myself, where I get so caught in like this spiritual work and healing and whatever, but I forget to go out and share. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, when is stuff happening and when is whatever? But I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm just sitting here by myself. What good is all the spiritual work if I'm just in my house studying? Like, going out and being with the world and connecting with people and helping people, like that's the purpose of all of it.
A good reminder.
He was also saying like to do more connection to purifying and elevating ourselves, because it's one thing to do the physical work to get ahead, and sometimes we think, oh, I have to do more to make more money, I have to do more to become a better at this or better at that. And sometimes it's really, well, all the time, it's not really about doing more of the physical work necessarily. And it's even not necessarily doing more of the studying and, oh, I'm going to take this class and I'm going to, they're all important things. We have to do the physical work and we have to do the spiritual study to get ourselves connected. But then to be able to purify and elevate ourselves, to do the internal work, to task ourselves to take the actions of the internal work, that's what really, that investment opens up the gates for us to allow more things to come. And that's the act of sharing, and even meditation can be part of that, to internalize the things that I'm learning so that I can do something with it. Sometimes I find myself getting in a spiral of too many things to do and being so busy, but I don't have time. And then we're going to talk about the Zohar. I'll take the Zohar and I'll read, but my level of connection, I have to remind myself, like, okay, well, I'm not sitting down for 30 minutes now, but maybe it's 2 minutes, but I want to ask to make that connection so that the light can now flow through me and I can access things that are going to bring more blessings and more assistance in my life.
One of the things I love about Kabbalah is there's so many opportunities for self-reflection. Like, you're supposed to do it at the end of the day before you go to bed. I do it weekly on Shabbat. Like, we just did a big, like, the month of Virgo. And, I don't know how many people really take the time to do that, to have that amount of self-awareness and actively think about what they need to work on themselves, so frequently. And then that's what's beautiful, is everybody in the Kabbalah Center is really trying to be the best person that they can be and, really try to change the world. And I wanted to tell you guys, like, it's so beautiful that you guys are here doing this, doing the Kabbalah conversations with that goal. And then I was really busy today too, but I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take this time because I want to help, the Kabbalah Center and the world, and, whatever small thing I can do. That's what it's about.
Amazing. Hey, that the reflection that you mentioned, do you do that actually every night? Because I would confess, I wish I I know this is one of those things that I don't know why I'm not doing.
Kabbalah confessions, all the
Yeah,
things we
Kabbalah
don't do.
confessions. Like I know there's so much power to it. It's so beneficial. It's so amazing, and yet I, I personally I don't do that. Um, maybe I should use this moment to say, that's it. I'm starting to, because the idea is self-reflection, like to it's not even just Kabbalah. I think the idea of before you go to sleep, to reflect your day and to say what was the day about, from the beginning to the end. Where did I fall? Where did I succeed? What went right? What went wrong? And like that, do that process. It's the benefit is amazing. And I would love to start to do that every single night
Mm.
because it's very powerful and it's life-changing, I think.
One of the senior teachers, David Guillaume, that's a spiritual practice that he does every single
That's
day,
where I learned it.
right? And when he wakes up in the morning, before he like goes into reactive, all the things that need to do, he just lays in bed, he said, and or he'll sit at the edge of the bed and he'll talk to the creator. And then also at the end of the day, Monica talks about it, and just to assess the day, what went right, what went wrong, and really to have that self-reflective time to go inside and connect to that pure essence of ourself.
I'm really strong in my morning routine, but honestly, by the end of the day, I'm pretty tired. But I'm trying to strengthen my evening routine. But then I think, one time my teacher told me, we do what we can. And
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've also heard David Guillaume say he talks to the creator out loud while he's driving. So I'll do that sometimes. So, whatever we can do.
A really helpful thing I do is I have a journal where it has like my morning prompts and my evening prompts, and it's on my nightstand. And it's like the first thing I do before I even get out of bed, and the last thing I do before I fall asleep. I just have to do the journal, and they're very short.
Wow.
But like in the evening, there's 2 questions, and it's what is just reflection questions. It's like, what did you do today that you're proud of? And what will you try to do differently tomorrow, or something like that. So as long as I just know I can do it and open it just even for a minute, it does make a really big difference.
And then when we really get to the next level, which I'm not there, is when we start to do tshuva every night. And tshuva is just the process of, you can actually go back in time, if you can believe it. I mean, Back to the Future is real. It not in that way. It's not with a car. It's all in the consciousness. But it's possible to go back in time when you did something, when you failed, when you did something negative. It is possible to go back to that point and transform it. And by doing that, not only are you making yourself okay, so now I don't have to feel guilty about what I've done. More than that, now it becomes a positive. It becomes a force that pushes you up in life. So you just did something terrible in the morning, and at night, if you do that process called tshuva, you can actually transform it from being something pulling in your life that is negative, that is going to have negative effects in your life, into something that actually is positive, that is better than if it didn't happen at all. And of course, we don't have permission to now just do negative things as much as we want, because we're going to transform them later. But retrospectively, yes. Looking back, when you didn't mean to fall, but you fell, later you can go back and transform it, and then actually it becomes something very positive, more positive than if it never happened at all. Should we talk about the
Yeah,
Zohar?
because we know real quick, like everything is light. Like we know everything is light, but the only time it's negative or selfish or whatever, it's just concealed light. So, and really, like you said, it's I mean, we try not to, but sometimes it's inevitable that you're going to be selfish or you're going to be negative or whatever. But then you're just getting a ball of, that's how I see it, like light that's in a capsule. And through our spiritual work, through seeing it, feeling the pain of what we might have caused somebody else, or just learning the lesson, then that covering comes off and then you have the light. and then you have more light than before. So it really is tshuva, return, it's repentance, atonement. They're all those like words that sound religious, but really it's just like a process of learning and growing through experience. And oh, I love it.
When
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, when I study like the different world's religions and different spiritualities, I'm looking for similarities, because if they're all saying the same thing, then I feel like that's more of a sign that it's universal truth. And other religions or, different spiritualities have a concept of repentance. But I like the way that it's done in Kabbalah. It resonates with me, how we do that tshuva and repentance. And so I feel like I'm doing it now in a way that's really going to work and make a difference.
How do you do it, Jennifer? What's it like for you?
I do that 4-step process where, first you think of, what occurred that was like selfish or reactive. And then I feel the pain that it caused me, the other parties, the whole world. And then I imagine the scenarios if I hadn't done that. And then I commit to not doing that again.
It's so important. I realize I've tried to do it, and unless I really do feel that pain, even just for a few moments, the commitment is hard and it's like a struggle. But it almost like the pain is like a gift. Like if you really feel the pain it causes, then you like learn the lesson. You're like, oh, okay, I get what that did. And then you don't want to do it again. Rather than being like
That's
forced
true.
and like suppressing yourself, you just don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Very true.
Everything that we go through that's painful and difficult, and every challenge that, I mean, I think that's one of the most beneficial gifts that I received from studying Kabbalah, because you don't feel like you're a victim to things. Why is this happening in my life? Why am I going through this? I mean, you feel the pain of it, but then you understand that behind it is the light of the Creator, and the light of the Creator would never do anything to harm us. That those challenges are really light behind it, and when we can recognize that, we can start to access that light. And even though when it's extremely hard and you don't know what's going to happen, just to know that the light of the Creator is there for you, and it is light, and it is a blessing, and it will come. It's amazing.
Wow. If I can also add, this is also from this morning. He said, Michael Berg said something very powerful. He said there are five levels of soul. So there's the lower 3 and the upper 2. The lower 3 are nefesh, ruach, neshama, and the upper 2 are chaya and yechida, livelihood and singularity. And he said, usually when we experience something good, we're actually connected with the lower 3, with nefesh, ruach, neshama. When we don't experience anything, like you said sitting in the car, and I had a question: is it when we don't feel anything, or also when we feel something negative? But I don't have the answer to that. But he was talking about when you don't feel anything, you're not making a connection, nothing exciting is happening, nothing, just nothing. He said at that moment you're actually connecting with the upper 2, the chaya and yechida, and the way to benefit from that is to have that thought as you're sitting wherever you are and nothing is going on, to say, oh, amazing. Now, because nothing's going on, it means that the light is showering me to the upper 2 levels, the chaya and yechida. And by that, I think that's when you're really, receiving so much. So
Wow.
anyway,
So I shouldn't try to take myself out of it when I'm just like zoned out,
Yeah.
or like just in the motion going. It's actually a good thing.
It's a good thing, especially when you think when you think about
You
it,
zone
you're
into
saying,
it.
amazing, I'm
Yeah.
receiving out to the upper 2.
Cool. I like that. That's new to me.
Before we go to the Zohar, so we make it personal, does anybody have something to share from this last week? Either challenge, whether resolved or not, or something positive, maybe a miracle story that is related to what we learn, anything that we can share?
Um, oh, sorry. I did just kind of I talked a little bit earlier about how, I was like a single mom when I really started studying Kabbalah more. And I really do credit my study of Kabbalah with helping me find my current relationship. I really do feel like he's my soulmate.
Wow.
And there was so much I learned in Kabbalah, starting with being the best me that I can be to attract the best partner. And then he watches like Kabbalah relationship classes with me. But I get a lot of like messages from friends, some that I haven't talked to in such a long time. And they're like, I'm so happy for you. You know what I mean? And I never felt like anybody really, mostly my friends, like kind of never really approved of anybody that I was with. It was like nobody was ever good enough for them. But now I really feel, and it's really what I think first, but it's really nice that all of my friends and family are like so happy for me. They saw I was like I was single for like 5 years, and then, but finding the person they say is just the beginning. Now we're like, we've been in a relationship for almost a year and a half. And, then it's kind of like the real work begins, and so, but just every day, every week, I'm reminded of, my relationship, how grateful I am. And I really credit Kabbalah to that. And then just every week, people are just like kind of asking me, like, where did you find each other? And, and I share with them about like a little bit of like, yeah, some of it is with the Kabbalah, and just and stuff like that. And so I think that, not specific to this past week, but like I was really thinking about it recently, and just how excited I am for the future with him.
Wow, beautiful.
I have a story from this week, but it has to do with using the Zohar, so I'll wait till you maybe explain it.
Okay. Okay. Esther, would you like to say something about the Zohar, or should I?
No, you start.
Okay. So we wanted to go a little bit deeper about the Zohar. By the way, I have to interject with the timing. I wonder if we should push it to the next one, because it's like,
Yeah, that's fine. This was good.
know,
It was,
what?
yeah.
Right?
I said
'Cause
this was good. We had a lot of the
yeah, I think
topic
we had
was
this was a
Cuba.
great show session, whatever we call it. I think the Zohar, it does deserve to talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
So again, we'll touch something about it because we're already, but then we'll save it for the next
Okay, so
the next
introduce
session.
it, and then Christine can share her story.
Yes, and that's how we'll
And
okay.
then next week we can really just get into how we use the Zohar. Use the Zohar this week, and with the thought in mind, I want to share something about it for next week.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Okay, so in just a few words again, we're talking about the Zohar, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in another time. But what is the Zohar? The Zohar is a text that was written by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai about 2,000 years ago, and the Rav always says, the Rav, the founder of the Kabbalah Center, always says that consciousness is everything. And therefore he says the Zohar is everything. And what does that mean? All of our experience of life, it's all with our consciousness. Even whether we go through good happenings, bad happenings, whatever it is, it's our mind that is going to tell us this is great or this is bad. And if our mind can tell us a different story, our experience of life is going to be totally different. The power of the Zohar, when you read a text, you're attaching yourself in a certain way to the person, to the consciousness, whoever wrote it. And if it's a negative book, God forbid, you can connect to negativity. If you're connecting with somebody with the highest level possible of consciousness that they wrote down, they left a text behind, when you're reading that, there's something that you're starting to connect. You're connecting with that consciousness. And so this is the most amazing gift that was left in this world, Before this book was written, the light of the Zohar existed since the creation, but only very few people in every generation could connect to it. And Rabbi Shimon put it in a book, pretty much. It took a long time, about 1500 years later, for this book to be revealed to the world, and now we have it available. It comes in different forms. This is just the Aramaic, very thin paper, so it fits in one book. But if you have it with a translation, like Jennifer has it next to her, you have a few volumes.
Yeah.
The full set is like, it's like
Yeah.
23 volumes. You have like 4 or 5 behind you. So the full set is like
There's
23.
different shelves.
And that is the this is the Hebrew one, and it also also comes like a 23 volume set. In it there is the original text in Aramaic and the translation or commentary called the Sulam by Rav Ashlag that lived in just 100 years ago, and he actually opened the Kabbalah Center. So he translated and made commentary that bring this light even to a level that is even easier to understand. And I think we're gonna leave it at that for now. We'll definitely talk about it more. I did want to mention that the Kabbalah Center also prints out these pocket size Zohars. They're in this size for a purpose, so that anybody can, so like soldiers in Israel carry it in their pocket. We give it to police officers, anybody who puts their life in
Hospital
danger,
workers, fire
just
station-
carrying it. Sorry?
Yeah, hospital workers, fire stations.
So the light of the Zohar is in this pocket size volume. You can go on Kabbalah.com and buy it for, I think, $10, or just DM us, we'll send it for you for free. And so if you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, you're interested in this light to carry with you wherever you go, to put in your car. The amount of light that you're going to get from it is dependent, but even to the most basic level of just having it with you, it radiates light of healing and protection. So if it's in your car, it should give you a good protection, and you can go from there and use it more and more, and then go into the the studying it and all of that. But start with this and just DM us and we'll send it to you for free. So with that.
So I'll tell you what happened this week. I was with my boyfriend, guys. I have a boyfriend now.
Oh, amazing.
Is this
But-
as a result of the?
This was the one that I told you about.
Yes, I wanted to follow up with you.
You'll meet him soon.
I'm
I'm
out
sure.
of that loop, but it's amazing to hear.
No, it was on the. It was mentioned on this on Kabbalah Conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
He made a Kabbalah joke. Okay, so we were on a trip together, and he struggles with anxiety. And there was this moment he was in the bathroom, and I could hear he was like having a panic attack. And I was, he shares this openly, so I think it's fine to tell. But I could tell he was struggling, and I was trying to figure out what to do. So I was just kind of praying and asking, like, how can I help? And I saw the Zohar sitting on the table there. So I just opened it and I was just reading it. And I was just asking to like have the light of the Zohar in me, because in this moment, I wasn't going to tell him start reading the Zohar. That wasn't my place to do. But I wanted the light in the Zohar with me. And when he came out and he was, still having anxiety, I just hugged him, and I was just visualizing what I read in the Zohar going to him, just energetically. And very quickly he calmed down, and he didn't know that I was doing this. And he was just like, oh my gosh, I've never felt so peaceful, is what he said. He went from like having this full on panic attack. He's like, I don't know what's happening. And he was like, I think it's you. And in my head, I was like, no, it's the Zohar. But anyway, so it just showed me like how powerful, and we can use it for other people in our lives. Even if we read the Zohar, like maybe like my mom doesn't or my kids don't, but I can use it to help them. And it showed me that.
Amazing.
Wow, I love it. I love it so much.
Amazing.
Ah,
Wow,
fantastic.
that's very inspiring. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Well said,
Okay.
guys.
We're gonna wrap it up, but before we wrap it up, I just want to say, Jennifer, it was amazing to have you. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you so much.
We should have you again, of course, for sure. And
Thank you. Thank you
any
guys
final
for doing
words?
this.
Okay. And be sure to like our podcast, and you can find us on all the social media channels. Thank you for joining us today in our Kabbalah conversation, and we hope that something you heard today makes your week better because of it. And if you're looking to learn more, we've included resources, lessons, podcasts from the Kabbalah Center on our page in the highlights, so you can continue to connect during the week. Please tell your friends and share this page with everyone you think can benefit. We're so excited to grow our community and very soon to have live in-person events as well in Las Vegas. Please feel free to ask questions, drop a comment below if you'd like to join our waiting list for the next live class. And we wish you an amazing week and look forward to seeing you next week. And don't forget, if you're interested in receiving a pocket-sized Zohar, also drop that, DM us in the comments.
Amazing.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Bye. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
You too.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.